Video number 3 for today. So if my voice is a little worn out, it's because we've been filming all day. So we have Vince with us, who is the vice president, lead designer. What else do you do
Chief
here?
test driver.
Chief test driver.
Yeah.
Test dummy driver.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah. So Vince has been with Shelby for over 20 years, 22 years. Mm-hmm. He's been incredible to work with. Yesterday, we had a chance to shoot the brand new 2024 Shelby Super Snake based off of the S650 Ford platform. Thing is so cool. Great looking vehicle. I've had a chance to drive a couple of Shelby vehicles before, and every single time they blow me away. We also had a chance to check out the shop, so that's the last video that went up. That is what you guys see through this window. But this time, I wanted to show you guys the Heritage Center. So this is what you will be able to check out. Anybody, whoever wants to visit Shelby, the Heritage Center is open to anybody, and they have a lot of incredible cars. It's kind of like a revolving car show here.
It is. So what we try to do is we try to bring cars in that we don't have, different years. A lot of people have cars hidden in their collection that they want to show. So they'll call us up and say, hey, I got this and this, would you be interested? Absolutely.
So then some of these, are they owned by Shelby?
A couple of them are, but most of them are owned by customers.
Do some of them belong to the family?
Yes. Yeah, we have some family cars in here.
And some of them are your cars too?
Yeah, personal cars. And Gary Patterson's personal cars. His wife's car is here. So it's just, it's kind of neat. What we're trying to do is we just try to give you a good balance of exactly what's been going on through the years. Kind of give you some of the jewelry, some of the hardcore, early cars, and just kind of go through and get a little bit of history. Yeah. The neat part about it is you could either walk through here by yourself, or you could do a guided tour, which is really nice too. Mm-hmm. So you learn a little bit of history, a little bit of everything that goes on.
You can also see where the cars are being built. There's nothing to hide. I mean, you could see every tech out here working on all the cars.
Yeah, the boys on the line are here from 4 in the morning till 2:30 in the afternoon, but the Heritage Center opens up, I think it's 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then we're open till 5:30 every night. Mm-hmm. So it's fun. You come in, it's free. You can browse around. You can kind of gather a little history. But if you want to learn a little bit, there is a tour you can do. There's a couple of different tours you can do. The cost of the tour, you get a swag bag that has more than what you paid for the tour. So it's a pretty neat deal.
There is a full gift shop here too.
Yes, yeah, apparel, everything you need. So we're at Sunset and the 15, right off Las Vegas Boulevard, so it's really easy to find.
There's a couple things that car nerds have to do when they come to Vegas. Mm-hmm. Visiting the Shelby American Heritage Center and the factory is definitely one of them, without a doubt. Let's talk about some of the most important cars. This one is...
This is one of Carroll's cars. This is probably the oldest car in here right now. This is the last 289 car. So when Carroll first started building cars, they did 260s and then they did the 289s. So this is the last one of only 3 with an automatic transmission in it, pipes under it all the way out the back and everything. Typical Roadster. This is what Carroll wanted at the beginning. He liked the automatic cars. We always give him a hard time for the automatic cars. We know why he did it, because his girlfriends couldn't drive a stick. So, he gave him an automatic car so he could impress them, no.
So then, is this one owned by?
This is owned by the family.
Okay, owned by the family.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Got it. What a, I can't believe the condition it's in. It's incredible.
Yeah, nice condition. Mm-hmm. We keep them, it's funny, when we used to even maintain Carroll's first car, we did sell that one, but we try to keep them as stock as possible. We don't try to change anything. We just try to maintain it and keep it working. When the family wanted to sell that one, they wanted to keep it here in the U.S. It's bought by a family that owns tracks and stuff like that. So we're still able to use the car for events and stuff. So it's kind of still in the family.
Was it a public sale or was it just
private? It was Russo Steel auction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what was the number? Do you remember?
I'm not positive. It was, I want to say 13 something.
13 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, very historic car, super
Yeah.
cool. So then pretty much the most important cars get displayed on this stand here.
Yes, So this is kind of when you walk in, most important that we have at the time. Or if we're doing an auction or charity car or something like that, we'll usually put it up on the pedestal. But usually the most important will be towards the front.
Have you driven this one?
Oh yeah, I've driven all the cars in the museum.
That's so nice. What a great perk of working here.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's go down the line.
We'll get on the other side of the string here so we can see what's going on. So this car here, this is kind of a special, very much a specialty car. So this one's made out of copper. This is just to show the craftsmanship that they can build it out of copper. And what's that in there? Oh yeah, that's a 427 SOHC motor, one of the early NASCAR 427s. Just the motor itself is something special.
Wait, okay. The entire body is made out of copper.
Copper.
So then, does it oxidize?
Yes, it does. So it's already oxidized down. Right now, we'll wait till it oxidizes a little bit more, and then we'll go ahead and clean it. But the problem is when you clean it, you got to clean the whole thing. You can't miss a spot. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. It's beautiful. It's very heavy. For a Cobra, it would be extra heavy. So it's just a nice thing, just something pretty for everybody to see.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's ready to go. It's plugged in and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. They'll fire right up. I don't know if you put gas in it or not.
What a crazy build.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine the man hours it takes to form the copper this way.
Yeah, thousands of hours, hundreds of hours to do it. It takes 300 hours just to polish them out. So it's pretty crazy actually, the amount of time that it takes to do them. So the one next to it is we do an ultra polish on this one here. So this one here is all hand formed aluminum. You can actually, if you look at it hard, you can actually see the weld seams in it. Where the car was all welded together. And this also has an SOHC motor in it. So this is a customer's car. This one here is just here on display. He's gonna pick this one up here pretty soon. It's one of those things where, you know, they all have collections and stuff, just the paper is still on the plastic, that's all. They all have collections and they want to display some of the stuff that they have. So
if you wanted to buy a Cobra like this, you could still buy it from Shelby.
Yes.
But I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna have a couple $100,000, $250,000, something like that, into a polished one like this.
And that's just for the body, without the motor?
Just for the body. Yeah, but no, with the motor and everything in it, depends on what you put in it.
Oh, okay, got it. There's a lot of options.
There's a lot of options. So there's a lot of different ways you can go.
So then, right now, you don't have any of these being built in this building because they got moved to another
all over
facility.
at a company called Superformance.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're a licensed dealer of ours, so they'll go ahead and build them. So the reason we did that is some people, you know, we want to keep the Cobra alive. So they have a Superformance one that's built pretty much close to our spec, but it isn't. It's a little bit different. It's their spec, and it's a lot lower price. And then you can step into the Shelby with a CSX number, you know what I mean, built exactly the way our spec, everything like that, for the person that wants that. Then that way you have an opportunity, you can get aluminum, you can get fiberglass, you can get the 5.0, you can get the original 427 in the car, whatever you want to do.
And I'm assuming part of it is, like you said, it's such low volume. To keep it alive, and for you to do it in-house here, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Whereas you're pumping out how many cars here in this facility?
5 to 7.
500 to 700 a year.
A year out of here, So it's, you know, so adding that on is just more complexity, basically. This is a Daytona Coupe. So this one here, we got a few partners together on this one here. The reason this car here is so special is all the CSX numbers are 4-digit numbers. CSX 2000 was the first number. That was Carroll's first car that he built.
And that's the special, kind of like a Shelby VIN.
Yes, the Shelby VIN, yeah. So it's CSX
That's separate from the chassis VIN.
Yeah, so this car here, this is 9999. This is the last 4-digit CSM number.
Oh,
So
wow.
Carroll had the first one. This is the last one, basically the 4-digit numbers. So that's why
Amazing.
this one's so important. This is a 50th anniversary Daytona. So the reason the Daytona came around basically is the original cars that race, like you can see in the pictures on the wall right there, the 289 cars, about 130 miles an hour, they hit a block wall basically that's as fast as they could go. They go over to Europe, they're racing the Ferraris and stuff, and these boys are getting close to 200 miles an hour. We got to keep up. So Carroll had Peter Brock design a new body for this. So the new coupe body designed by Peter actually has some pretty wild things with the flat back car and the wing on it and stuff like that. There was actually way ahead of its time, something that nobody else had ever done. Yeah, that's the original spare tire. So the original spare tires in the cars were held in by a bungee cord. I mean, so this is original.
Wow.
So the class that this raced in, FIA class, you had to have a spare tire in the car. You
And
know what
that
I mean?
was for like 24-hour Le Mans.
Yeah.
For all of that.
Yeah, you had to have a spare tire. So it was kind of cool. So these cars come with a spare tire like this. But anyway, when Peter redesigned the car over the 289 chassis with everything like that, now it's a 200 mile an hour car. Now they can go over, they can compete, and they could win.
So then what year was this built?
This one here was built probably about 15 years ago.
So then,
This is a newer car.
does Shelby still build these?
Yes, yeah, you can still get them
And then that's also built
through
outside.
Super Performance.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is just so neat. I really think that is so cool.
Yeah.
That you can get something that is,
Nostalgic yet, retro as far as, the all aluminum suspensions and, the right steering and disc brakes and all that kind of stuff. But yet still the original chassis, motors, set up on the inside, just like the original cars.
so then when you drive this, do you mostly drive it on the street or is it mostly just track?
So this car here, to drive this one, we would take it to the track when we know we had the track by ourselves and cruise it around that way. There is some that drove on the street. There's actually a video of a guy that just got hit in one of these, a polished one. I felt so sorry for him, yeah. It's a collector's car, you know what I mean? Somebody that's looking for the last number, somebody that wants something that's special, somebody that wants a piece of history. That's what this car is.
I love the stripe. That is just,
Yeah, so we polish the whole car and then tape it off and use Scotch-Brite and do the stripe with Scotch-Brite.
that is so neat. I just see every line so perfectly and all
Yeah.
the swirl marks and everything makes it just so special. And like you said, this is where it was all welded
Yeah,
together.
you can see the weld and
Yeah.
everything, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
What a
pretty
work
cool.
of art.
Yeah, they are. So this is an original GT40. This is a customer's car. It had been in a bad accident, I think a couple of them. So it's been rebodied, but still the provenance of the car, the original chassis, everything like that, I'd range it probably in about a $3 million car.
Well, I always thought these were neat because this one, right-hand drive, right-hand shift,
Yeah,
it's so weird.
yeah.
But
They're neat. I have a couple customers that let me run these for them on track, so they're really, really fun cars.
Amazing.
So the movie Ford versus Ferrari, this is the sister car to the car that was in the movie, basically. So this is the same thing, right-hand shift, right-hand steering. So these cars here, these are set up for 427s. So the difference we do on these cars here, other than the original, is the original was actually monocoque chassis and it was all stamp riveted together. After about 3 or 4 races, everything starts coming loose in the car. So you got to take it all apart and tighten all the rivets up. So this car here is built with the same design. Look, you see the door doesn't close, just like the movie.
Then this is not an original one. This one's
This is, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it. This is a brand new car. So this one here is made for the aluminum 427. The chassis is all steel now and it's welded together. Now it'll handle the torque from the big motor, everything like that, and it'll actually last. So you can buy this car, put the 427 in it, it'll last you forever.
and this is built by Super Performance?
Yes,
too?
yeah, you can get that. Yeah, these are built out of South Africa. Yeah, yeah, and we have them shipped in. Well, it has the gurney bubble in
Yep.
the roof.
Yeah, because he was a taller,
Dan was such a tall guy, yeah.
taller man.
So
it's
it's a-
funny to me that just that much of a bubble
Yeah, it would
was
make
enough.
a big difference. Yeah.
Was enough to just fit his helmet.
Yeah, that's all it was, just to fit the helmet in there. We've been talking about Super Snake all day. Mm-hmm. The name Super Snake comes from this car. So this car here, this is a replica of the original Super Snake, but this is about as close as you can get to it. It was a 427 cross ram, dual 4-barrel, 2 Paxton superchargers. Carroll built this car, and it was basically his monster. You know what I mean? This is a car that you wanted to have the most horsepower, biggest motor you could put in a little Cobra. That's what this was. In the years ago, he built one for Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby actually did a whole record on how he got this car, started it up. The power was just amazing. He went around the block, came back, handed Carroll the keys and says, "No, thank you. I will die in this car." It was way too much car.
Because just the 427 alone, NA in this is already a handful.
Yes.
This is.
Oh yeah.
This
now
is
it
nuts.
comes on hard. Yeah. Uh huh.
So, how much power are we talking about? In this
You know, in the day, I think it was probably around 650. But in the day, that was a lot of power in a car, especially a car like this.
I've never seen a car with twin superchargers. Mm-hmm. As if one wasn't enough.
Yeah. But you got to remember that back when they were making the Paxtons back in the day, the CFM wasn't that big on these. You know, so you run 2 of them, you got into your, you're probably running 700 CFM or something like that through there. So you're running 2 2600s, pop it in, and it'll run pretty good.
Just the loss of power, the parasitic loss.
Oh, yeah.
It alone, it's got to be so much just to spin those things.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. They're fun cars. This is a beautiful car.
Yeah, it is really
I don't know if
beautiful.
the battery's up on this car. I haven't started this one in a long time.
I love how casual you are. Like I'm so scared. I don't even want to get closer. We're just, everybody's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I love that you're just starting it. Oh, wow. That is so cool. How neat is that?
Yeah, beautiful cars. They're so much fun.
Amazing.
So now this is something a little more modern. So this is an aluminum car, but what we did is we went ahead and put a 5.0 in it. Oh. So a 5.0 in an aluminum car, really nice, super lightweight car, a lot of power, fuel injection, you can go anywhere you want, up and down the hills, it doesn't matter, go to the beach, go to the mountains.
Yeah.
It's nice. But it's still aluminum car, so it is susceptible to denting and those kind of things. You got to be careful with the car.
And then this one is a 5-speed transmission.
Yes, 5-speed, this one here. This one here is another Super Snake, but this one's an automatic car. So another replica of the Super Snake. Now, the ultimate car for just everyday driving, having fun, is a fiberglass 427 coilover car with a 5.0 in it. And this car here is, it's not conventional to the original car, you know what I mean? But what it is this one here, you can drive it every day. You don't have to worry about dents and dings or anything like that. Just a fun, everyday car, almost like a motorcycle for 2. You know what I mean? Cruising up and down the coast, just having fun. So that's what this car's all about.
This is
Turn the
so
key,
neat.
it just fires right up.
And it has knockoffs and everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's all 427 chassis. So.
Wow.
So now this car here, so we do a lot of charity stuff. This was for the Thunderbirds. Basically, this is called Wings of Pride. We did a coupe, and then we did this one here. It's a raffle car. You buy raffle tickets. We raised thousands of dollars for the Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City. I went to the airport when we were getting ready to do this, looked at the jets, saw what kind of wheels they had, made wheels to match the jet, did little things, painted it the same way as the jet. Full Super Snake, 23 Super Snake, wide body, convertible, just a little bit of everything. Just a fun car, 800 horsepower convertible. The movie Ford versus Ferrari, first scene of the movie. Carroll gets out of the car, he's on fire. He gets all mad. You put the gas in the car, am I on fire? You know, that kind of thing. This is the car. So this is a movie car. We call them 50-50 cars. 50 feet away or 50 miles an hour, they're awesome. But other than that...
How much involvement did Shelby American have with the movie?
The family had a lot of involvement. Yeah, so the family was really involved. So that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? The family had a lot of it. Some of the early race drivers that raced for Carroll were all in it. So they had all the race scenes correct and everything. A lot of the movie was pretty cool, kind of eerie. It was really good, the way they did it. Some of the stuff in the movie, Carroll fighting on the front lawn, you know, that kind of stuff, that wouldn't happen. Carroll wasn't that guy.
So then, once that movie came out, did you see like a resurgence, or did you see a lot more people coming in?
Absolutely. Brought the name back out again.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the thing we liked about the movie was it was a car movie, but it wasn't really. It was kind of a lifestyle movie, all about Ken. So it was really, really a good movie. So these are prototypes. These are 10 through 13 prototype. We keep a lot of the prototypes, you know what I mean, from the early cars, just so we have them. So the shop owns a lot of these.
This is really neat.
So this is Series 1. Series 1s were sold in 99, 98, 99, all carbon fiber body, aluminum sandwich, aluminum floors, all aluminum chassis. It's got a 4.0 Aurora motor in it with a Paxton supercharger or a Vortex supercharger on it. All Oldsmobile Aurora parts on the inside, and then all carbon fiber body.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile, Carroll's buddy, Lee Iacocca.
Wait, but the Aurora, I don't think it was anything like this at all.
No, it wasn't.
It was just an economy vehicle, right?
Yeah, exactly,
But then they used the dash and...
Yep, a lot of the components, a lot of electronics and all that kind of stuff for this car here. So Carroll's buddy was Lee at the time. Lee was with Chrysler, so they did some dealing, and that's even the motors in the car. These are single overhead cam 4.0 motors, V8s, that Lee wanted to use for IRL racing. Didn't have enough engines homologated yet. Sold the rest of them to Carroll to homologate it so he could race an IRL that year.
That is crazy. Because I was wondering, you know, I know this is a original Shelby vehicle, but there's so many components to a car. I mean, I'm thinking
suspension is C5, upper and lower control arms and spindles. ZF transaxle in the rear.
So neat. But like the door panel, dash, like all of the little things, switches, all of that Oldsmobile, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That is
I came in
cool.
just as this was all starting. The only thing I did is I did the roll bars, I did front grills, some stuff down below. So this was one of the first cars I got to work on when I first came to Shelby, and then we got into the Mustang programs. So this is the KR. This is actually Gary's car. So this is number 1. This is the first KR built.
Still a lot of them on the assembly line. If you guys want to check out that story, just check out the last video. We talked about the KRs in there.
So this is a Don Prudhomme car. So Carroll came in one day and said, we're going to do a Don Prudhomme. We're going to do a tribute to Don Prudhomme because he's my buddy. So Carroll used to actually supply engine blocks and stuff like that to Don Prudhomme back in the day, and asked if I'd build a drag car. So I started out with the suspension, got the drag suspension all set up on it the way it's set. The way that it's set with the suspension, the back end was up pretty high because when it transferred, there's so much weight in the front of this car, I had to transfer so much weight in the back. I had to do a rocker, so I did a rocker on it that's low, high in the front and low in the back with a side exhaust out of it, kind of give it to, to where it works on the street. There's street tires that you can put on it. It's a street legal car. You can drive it on the street.
Wait, how many did you guys build?
5 of them.
And
this is number 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine driving something like this on the street.
Yeah, it has regular street tires for it.
That is...
But yeah, kind of fun. So this is my favorite car in the whole place right here. So this is a Shelby 1000. So Carroll through his lifetime, you know, working for him. It started out, you know, I want 600, I want 700, 800 horse. Finally one day, and he says, you know, Vince, he says, I want a Shelby 1000. I want a 1,000 horsepower car. So we started putting this one together. We could only get it about 9 something street legal, you know, California legal, smog legal. Couldn't get 1,000 horsepower out of it. So had to go tell Carroll, sorry, Carroll, I can't do it. What do you mean you can't do it? That's his way, you know. And I go, well, I can't do it legally. If you want to do it in a brown state, like Texas or something like that, you know, since you have a house there, we can go ahead and we can do it that way. So we bumped it up a little over 1,200 horse. So almost, probably close to 13. We wanted 1,000 horsepower to the ground. Got the car all done. Carroll wanted the car to look stock, so I just did a front splitter on it. That hood right there is 3 inches higher than a factory hood, but I made it look like a factory hood because he didn't want people to know what was happening. He wanted to be a sleeper. I put the 1,000 on the side. He said, that's okay. They'll see that when it starts going by. And then after the back of the car goes by, you see 1,000 on the back of the car. Then they know what just happened.
Oh,
anyway,
wow.
The day that we debuted it for him, we had it at the track. Carroll was out there. I got some of the best pictures I've ever had with me and Carroll in the car because it was pictures of the way we were. You know what I mean? Just both of us just kind of looking in space, talking to each other, you know what I mean? Picturing what we want to build type thing. And anyway, it was a great day. Had a film, got a bunch of good pictures and stuff like that. Dedicated the car to him. Everything went great. About a week later, he got sick, went in the hospital, and he never came back to the shop. So this is the last car that Carroll got to ride in on the track. And I was blessed to be the last guy to drive him on the track. So this car is very special to me.
Talk about hairy, though. Manual transmission, right?
Oh, this car here, so I kept spinning axles. So I kept spinning axles, stuff like that. So I put a set of axles in here. I don't know if you've ever been out to the proving grounds out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. There's a straightaway right there. So I could get it at 140 down the straightaway right there. I could do 140. I had my tuner with me, and I told him, I says, I want to do 145. I just put a new set of axles in it, came out of the corner. I was going 143, 4, and then I go just about 145. I stretched as long as I could. I touched the brakes, and the back end locked up solid. Wham! Now I'm backwards going down the track. It's like 130 miles an hour. So I've been racing for a long time, so I relaxed, looked through the back seats, started driving, started pumping the brakes, trying to keep it off the wall. We stopped before we hit the wall. Can't see anything. It's all smoky and all that kind of stuff. And I had my tuner with me, and I'm all like, you all right? And he goes, no. I says, why is that? He says, I just saw something that I thought I'd never see in my life. I said, what's that? He goes, we're doing 130 miles an hour still, and you're looking between the two seats driving down the straightaway. I says, well, I don't want to crash Carroll's car. So what do you expect? You know? So this is so stuff like this. I mean, the whole side's peppered. If you look underneath, the exhaust is all peppered from it. But what happened was the brake reluctor fell off the axle. So it defaulted to, when I touch the brakes, it just locked the brakes. There's no anti-lock or anything like that.
So then, like, this is a very interesting design element for me.
Yeah, I closed the windows off on these. So I just made that out of fiberglass real quick. So it's a little loose. But anyway, I just made it out of fiberglass and covered the windows just to kind of give it, I wanted to give it kind of a longer look, a little different look.
What a crazy car. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
A lot of fun. So it's, you know, people look at these cars and they think, oh, that's cool, but they don't know that there's such a cool story behind them all. Most of these cars down the center, we have, GT350s, original KRs, just all kinds of stuff. This is an original car. This here is a replica car of the Green Hornet. This is a replica car of Little Red. The second one, this is original 350. Right here. This is actually Gary Patterson's wife's car, original 428 KR 68. And then this is Aaron Shelby's, this is his car. This is in the family. So the Shelby family, Aaron Shelby, which is Carroll's grandson, they still have a bunch of cars that they bring out, you know, some of the early race cars, some of Carroll's early cars, they bring out and they show. So they've been collecting these things up. It's pretty exciting. So like I say, everything from beautiful jewelry to hardcore, full-on race cars we have here.
I've never seen a car with more tech stickers. Oh my goodness.
I know, huh?
How many tech stickers can you, they're gonna run out of room soon.
Oh, I know, huh? Isn't that crazy?
With that said, if you guys are ever in the Vegas area and you guys want to spend a lot of time here, just come here. Like Vince said, it's free. Spend the time to look at the cars up close and take the full tour. It's totally worth it. And also, by the time you guys watch this, the cars will probably have changed, right? Because they come in and out. Like you said, the owners pick up the cars and then new cars
stuff come in.
Right.
So this car right here, this is #1 first prototype GT500 ever built right there. This was used as a Goodyear test car for tires and stuff. This is the first car, so they put this together to see if they could put a big block in the cars and to see how everything would work, basically. It's funny to me because you talk about test tires and stuff like that, and you look at the tires on it, and there's actually 4 inches of tread. There's really no tire on the car. But this sold for, I think it sold for 2.4, this car here. A piece of history like this that nobody would ever see. It's kind of fun that people come in and be able to see this kind of stuff.
This is really neat.
And you can always tell an original car, you know, people go like, oh, nothing fits. You know what, the original cars, nothing fit. Well, a little known fact is that the guy that was building these parts for Carroll was building them out of his garage. Because Carroll, they weren't building a lot of them. He didn't know how things were gonna go. And he got a guy comes in and goes, I can build those for you, Carroll. Guy's building them out of his garage. So none of the, you know, nothing's really perfect. It's just, it's there, but it's not right. And then you look at a car that's been remanufactured, and the lines are all nice, and everything lines up in the back and everything. That's not how they work.
It makes me wonder how many cars Carroll has signed in his life. There's probably just no way to even estimate it.
No, and you can tell, and you know what's funny is the way Carroll signed his name too. When he did the little line with the bars and stuff like that. If you're a family, you know, it's 1 bar. Did it at a car show, it's usually 2 bars. If it's a auto pin, after he passed, we had him sign, auto pin will have 3 bars. So you can tell.
That's how you can tell.
Yeah, that's how you can tell. And a lot of times, if you were friends and family, you just sign it. I'd catch him at my office all the time. You know, what are you doing? Oh, you don't ask for me to sign anything. He says, I'm going to sign some stuff for you. Quit scribbling on my stuff.
That's amazing. I mean, I remember seeing him sign at shows like the SEMA show or whatever, and
thousands.
You couldn't even, I mean, you'd have to cut the line off so early.
Or it wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a great guy. Towards, you know, end of life for Carroll, he was at a point where all his organs, he had so many organs, he was one of the longest living organ donors there was, longest living heart recipient. And everything was just starting to deteriorate and go bad. So in the morning, he was okay, and then he would take his medication, and he would have to get away from people because he had no immune system. Go take a nap and stuff like that, and then he could go out and see people, and then he had to go back, do medication, that kind of thing. So a lot of times we'd be at events, there'd be 200 people in line, and he'd just go, I gotta go, because he had to go, he could feel it. Everybody's going like, oh man, you know, I can't believe he doesn't want to go. Why has he gotta go right now? And what they didn't know is he was sick, and he was there for you though, and he was gonna do what he could while he was here. So he was a super neat guy that way. I mean, he was a giver.
That's
awesome. He was good. And you know what's funny is, I talked to the guys that had him in the early days. I always tell them they got the strict Carroll that was kind of a bull, and I got the good Carroll. You know what I mean? Afterwards, he was like whatever you want to do kind of guy.
I know for a fact that he would be so proud of the continued legacy, especially with all the new cars. I mean, especially the new Super Snake that we've been shooting.
Yeah.
What a beautiful machine, and it really improves upon what Ford already started with.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. But thank you so much for showing me around. Just so much to see here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
come on
also,
down, have a good time.
On top of that, like I think the pinnacle of it is the bash that you guys have
Yeah.
here. Every year, right?
Every year we have a bash. This year it's next month, towards the end of the month. We do a big party for everybody that owns a Shelby. You bring your Shelby in, we teach you how to drive on the track. We have scavenger hunts. We have just all kinds of different fun things to do. The whole family, it's a family event. Even if you don't own a Shelby, you can come to a Shelby bash. Even if you drive one of them Corvettes or whatever, it's all good. Come have some fun with us. Come join the family. That's what we are. We're a family. We have a good time. We like to meet people. We like to talk to people. And just come out and have fun. Just bring your cars. Don't bring your cars. I don't care. Just come out and have a good time.